let's move on to the last topic of the day. The last topic of the day, ladies and gentlemen, comes the way of Aaron Greenberg of marketing for Xbox. Well, Gamescom 2024 is expected to be big. How big, you ask? Well, pretty sizable. According to several posts earlier in July, it was expected to be one of the biggest booths that Xbox has ever put together. And well, that's been confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. And Aaron Greenberg, we could thank for it because he has confirmed several things, which I think are an important part of today's final conversation of Breakfast with Boom. And Aaron posted this. He says, looking forward to returning to Gamescom again this year with our largest booth ever. We will have over 50 titles and 240 stations, including hands-on with upcoming releases. And those releases are Age of Mythology Retold, Aura, History Untold, Age of Mythology Retold, Aura, History Untold, try and say that back to back, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred, Fallout 76, Milepost Zero, which is their next expansion, The Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road, which is also a new expansion, plus Towerborn. Now, it also says, plus exclusive theater presentations for Avowed, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Starfield Shattered Space DLC. For those not attending, I'd recommend you check out the Gamescom opening night live show, as well as our Xbox at Gamescom show floor daily broadcast streams. More information here, and obviously I'll include this in the show notes so you can check this out. I want to go back to Crispy Bomb on this. Crispy, this is another big show. In fact, it is one of the biggest shows of the year, especially when you consider the amount of foot traffic. Obviously, in Europe, Xbox, well, they're behind PlayStation 5-1 ish, give or take, maybe on some weeks 4-1. But they're, needless to say, they're behind PlayStation. I think that is going to change. I don't necessarily know if this one Gamescom swings it all around, but look, this is going to be big, man. This is going to be big for Xbox. They're bringing a lot of wares. I'm sure we're going to get some updates for some of the things that we saw in June. What are your expectations?
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. They're so, like, you have Sony with their state of plays. You have Nintendo with their Nintendo Directs. We never say they're on the same realm as a showcase that Xbox does. I truly believe they're using these platforms, which is Gamescom, for this to be able to, give you updates on everything, and probably announce a bunch of release dates, and say, okay, we're going to be solid on this, and if we back out, we know we're going to take heat. And they, because they've waited so long to put out release dates, there's a reason for that. And I think that's why I think we were all on point in the beginning that Avowed would probably be the one delayed. So I look at that and I say, they are showing certain games for a reason in a theater aspect, which makes me excited that those games are going to be showcased very well in that theater aspect. So they have a plan, which always gave Microsoft a bunch of ish because they never had a plan. It seems like they have a plan now. Let's relish in the fact that Gamescom is like the largest gaming convention. Okay, let's put all the booths there. Let's be like the most present of any other platform. Just be the presence. And yes, like if you like PC, hey, come to our booth. You can try it out on PC. I guarantee they're gonna have, with all of what they've said, they're gonna have some different aspects. At the end of the day, Microsoft, what have I always been saying? They try to put their hands in all the cookie jars. Okay, they're just doing a little different. We used to get like Xbox Game Pass updates and there would just be like all these different little shows, and now it's just like, no, let's just focus on what people are going to actually put the views on. And I feel like for me as a gamer in America, I am looking forward to this. But for the people that are actually going to go there, which I believe is hundreds of thousands of people, okay, you're talking about something that could change the tide. And I believe that it's the perfect timing. I mean, Game Pass has never been more prevalent. The upgrade, like I had somebody that's a PlayStation, he's got a PlayStation 4, and he's like, but I can't play NCAA 2024. How do I play that? I was like, buy a Series S. It's like, I mean, you could probably get it at $200 on sale.
Yeah, you can get.
And he looked at me.
Pinch under 300. Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, on sale, you know what I mean? Like, there's sales out there. It's like $250, something like that, with the game or something. Like, they should really be pushing that marketing as well. I will call you out on that, Microsoft. Yeah, go for it. You have the cheapest entry to the next gen, and it runs on it. That's what a lot of people are looking for, because he's not like a huge gamer. He's like, I'll play the sports games. He's like, but I can't play it now because I have a PS4. He's like, what do I do? And I was like, he's like, I don't want to spend $500-$600. And I was like, yeah, but there's the Series S sitting there. And he's like, oh, I'm really gonna have to look in that. And I'm like, people just don't know. And I think their marketing needs to focus on that more, because at the end of the day, these games are going to be only developed for the next generation. And yes, PlayStation has played that game. We believe in generations. Yeah, you are absolutely BS. And I'm going to tell you right now, all that Gamescom is proving is that Sony don't give a crap about you, people.
Yep.
Okay? You might say Microsoft's you might say Microsoft's a big conglomerate, but they spend money to make money. I'm just saying, putting all those booths up and stuff, that stuff ain't cheap. No. Like, you look at some of the stuff we've seen when they've done E3, that's why they went to their own, and did their own thing, because they were charging them like double. Like, if you go to the hospital and you're like, I got a Band-Aid and that costs $200, like what's going on here? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I've gotten breakdowns from when I went to the ER at certain points, when I've gotten hurt when I was younger. Ridiculous. And I've been like, dude, like, how does putting antiseptic on cost freaking $15? Like, what's with that? So I look at you. Probably back then, that's what I'm thinking of. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so they're saying to the European market, hey, we're here, and we got all kinds of games for you to enjoy. So I think that's what they're going to push. It's going to be, but it's word of mouth as well. And I think that's one thing Microsoft is good at, getting people to experience the things in front of them, and then go to their brother or sister or their siblings or their cousins and be like, hey, like, they got something going on here that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? You like that type of game? Oh, they got that. Oh, you like that type of, oh, you got that. You know what I mean? Like, you got all different genres and all the ecosystems that are involved. You can play on your phone, you can play whatever. They're on the cusp of really breaking through that wall of, hey, let's ignore the fact that a console is the most important thing. It's not. It's just not. Like, I can play my Xbox games on my TV now. I just bought a new TV. Nice. I can play my Xbox games right on there. Literally every time I go to my home menu, it's gaming hub from Samsung. Yes.
Nice,
and I could play it, but I already have a Series X there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, this is intriguing for people that don't want to purchase. You have that option. Yeah, you got to go within Game Pass and within the titles that are allowed at that time, but there's still a lot of titles. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting concept. It's something that people are going to hate, because I mean, we're all old school in a way. We've been through Sega, Nintendo console wars, Sega, Sony, Nintendo. Like, we've watched all that stuff. Sony to Xbox now, and they're just like, you know what? We're just gonna we're not going to be a part of that anymore. And that's fine in my eyes, because at the end of the day, I just want people to play games. I think it's the most important thing. I think it can be a release for people. They can just kind of just go in their own little world. And that's what I enjoy about gaming. And I feel like Xbox is the only one that's really trying to do that at this point. Just giving you games, you pay a monthly price. I know it went up, and I just can't hate it, because I still subscribe to Netflix and all these other things that have went up. So I can't be mad at it because of what they're about to really just unfold in front of us. And I think next year is really going to be a turning point, because you're going to have the next COD, and you're going to have all these other things that come involved, all these different genres. And I think people are going to be like, I can't deny this. Like, they're just bringing out games while we're looking at Sony like, hey, can you figure out what you're going to do with Bungie? You know what I mean? Like, so them going to Gamescom and being this prevalent is very important for this particular time. And I think it's a great look.
But Hargeet, let's talk Gamescom. This, again, is it going to be as big as June? Probably not. But they are showing up with their biggest booth ever. Xbox has momentum. Are they market leaders yet? They are not. They are far from it. But they are working their magic to get there and at least run shoulder to shoulder with the PlayStations of the world, with the Nintendo Switches of the world, simply based on the games, which is something that we've all criticized them for not having in abundance, and that's first party. And first party single-player story-driven games are coming out in a big way, especially in the next couple of years. We got a couple of big ones this year. And listen, they're not forgetting where they started, right? They're still supporting Elder Scrolls Online. They're still supporting Sea of Thieves and Fallout 76 and Grounded, all gas games that are making money for them. And they seem to be hitting on all cylinders. This is just another way for them to show off to a European audience. Hopefully they have some games that they're working with some teams from that region that are going to be on the big stage. We don't know. There's some surprises that we don't know about. Towerborn is getting a full-on reveal. I am super stoked. We just saw some screeners from Clobreel. That game looks better every time I see it. What are your thoughts on them going to Gamescom in a big way?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that they're doing this. They need to focus on Europe, right? They've got to go beyond the US. And if they're going to pick any territory, that's probably a good one to go into. There isn't as much antagonism and as much dismissiveness because, look, the other major players are from Asia, right? Japan has both Nintendo and Sony, and Asia tends to pick those well over anything Xbox ever does, right? There's also a tendency to have a more leaning towards those Asian type games in Asia. They don't usually like the Western games as much. They do play them, but not nearly to the same level that they play those Asian games. So there is just that tie there, right? Europe is ripe for them to go into and say, hey, we have your type of games. You're going to like all these Western RPGs, and we have shooters galore, and all these games that you guys would enjoy. Why not come to our platform? We'll make it nice and cheap for you as well, right? With the Series S. You've got GTA coming up next year. I know you guys are going to play that game. Like, here you go. There's a cheap entry point. It's going to be next gen only, as far as we understand, right? So here you go, right? So they need to start making those inroads, and you need to start creating that mind share. Gamescom is a great way to do that. It's a very European, obviously centric showcase, but it's also a fan-centric showcase, right? So it's bringing your A game to that location. And I'm looking at the number of hands-on games that they're going to have. It's pretty crazy. And a lot of these are like the games that we've been seeing in the showcases, right? Like I was saying, Alters, Winterborough, Replaced, right? On and on, right? And Stalker's going to be there, right? Like, there's a lot of things they could do there, right? Towerborn, certainly the new games that are coming out with Ara, Age, and Avowed, and Indiana Jones, et cetera, right? All those are going to be there. It's like they need to kind of push these things, right? World of Warcraft. What we'll see if that resonates for players over there. It's on the PC arena. It's a different thing for them, but at least it's something they're going after. And then mobile, Diablo Immortal is there, right? So they're going to start pushing that mobile as well. I think they have Doom as well, right? So there's a whole bunch, right? There's a lot of games. Was it 50? I think you were saying something like that, 50 games that they're going to be showcasing there. So this is great. Let's see if they follow it up. That's the second piece, like Boom, we know, right, was from the marketing guy in Europe. He's like, well, I don't have a budget, but that's okay. No, it's not okay. No, it's not okay. You know what? Show up big and then give them a freaking budget to market your goddamn system so that people
that's why they're so behind, dude. It's
right.
Listen, again, it's the evidence is right there. Spend the money, Microsoft. You want to win or try anyway.
You already have U.S. market at a pretty good clip. It's okay.
Yes.
Move the money over to the other side. Let's get something in Europe here, right? You need to start pushing those other regions to start making the Xbox name something that is resonating outside of just the U.S. So if this is something you want to go after, I like this. This is great. Focus away from Tokyo for now. Fine. Move here, but bring the budget with it to say we're going to market blitz the rest of the year. We're going to start marketing the heck out of all the stuff that we have, all the stuff that's coming. You got to start doing that, right? They got to start pushing that. I hope they do, but yeah, like lockstep 1 and 2, if they can do that, they can potentially start looking at gaining market share in that region. But that's how it's got to be. They've got to push both ways. Bring the mind share. Look, are their competitors going to have booths like this? No. So you have 50 games showing up. That's huge. As a publisher, you're going to be putting yourself out there. Hey, we're here for gamers. Now push the marketing so that people know, right? Like, was it Crispy? You were saying something about like, one of your friends is like, I want to play NCAA, and they don't even know that you just got a Series S. Like, why? Why is that not something they know? If they're playing on consoles, they should know that here's a cheap entry point into the next gen. They don't know because that's what Microsoft does. They don't market. They need to get that out there. And I hope, like, there's also the All Access program, which is still fantastic, right? You don't even have to buy the whole console. You can just freaking pay monthly at zero interest. Just buy the console over 2 years, and you have a very cheap entry point, and it includes Game Pass, right? So there's just stuff they need to do. It's great. There's a lot of games here. Looks pretty cool, right? I'm hoping to get those announcements for release dates for like Indiana Jones and Shattered Space. Do they have any other ones that are waiting? I'm not sure if there's any others that are waiting for release dates, but like Replaced and whatnot, Towerborn, right? Those are ones that maybe we'll
33 Immortals is another one we're waiting for.
Yep, and I don't know if that's actually coming this year, but yeah, that's another one that they had on the docket, right? So, but whatever else surprises they have, that'll be cool as well. So, basically this show will likely be the ONL show, the Keighley show will likely be another Xbox showcase, right? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff there. Which is great. And then there'll be another Xbox showcase at the Game Awards with Keighley. So it's good, right? Keep the momentum going. The sad part to me is if they don't have a digital showcase for Tokyo, I think they should do that too. They should have something to reach out to that market share, that market as well. But I understand the focus. It's a better idea. Focus on Europe because they can easily get that one. And then say maybe they go acquire a Sega or something like that. And then you can make a big push into Asia and say, we've got the Personas, we've got the Yakuzas, come on over, right? Yeah. We've got Sonic, all that stuff. But I don't know when they want to pivot to that. But I think the way they have it right now is US and nothing. That's not good enough. You really need to start pushing to be more global. And that's something they should really focus on. I hope they do that. I hope this is like the start of that. Hey, we're going to focus on Europe for the next couple of years and try to gain market share against our main competitors there, which they need to kind of push for. It's a little disgusting that like they have under 5%. That's pathetic. They need to do something to make that much better. They have the games, they have the excitement, they have the momentum. Just make it happen. Just make it happen. It's just you got to do the marketing, make it happen, right? They should be able to compete here now. So,
what are your expectations based on what has been told to us by Aaron Greenberg of Xbox?
I think a lot. They're really, we're not seeing the normal temper expectations, that sometimes we'll see. So that's number one, a great sign. They released the full list of what's going to be shown. I counted. There's 47 titles there. Maybe a few dropped out, or maybe we're getting 4 maybe surprised announcements. Who knows? But I'm looking at those titles, and out of the 47 I counted, only 7 aren't playable. The rest are going to be theater presentations or things, photo opportunities, and experience, things like that. But 40 games hands-on is insane. Absolutely insane. That's going to be, I think he said, over 250 booths.
Yep.
I mean, they're going to have Replace there. I'm looking at the list right now. Replace there. They're going to have, Stalker 2 hands-on, Star Wars Outlaws, Little Nightmares 3 hands-on, Marvel Rivals, Atomfall will be all hands-on, Visions of Mana. So they're going all out right now. And I get what you guys are saying about this marketing push in Europe, and I think this is the start of it. At least I hope. I'm 100% agree with you guys. I think this is the start. They had trouble, with their launch lineup. There really wasn't a lot to market, the last, couple of years. And I think that was probably a bigger hindrance on them on why they couldn't get something going. As soon as they start taking a step, they're taking 2 back with a delay or cancellation or something. So I think this is the start of the marketing for Europe. I think they have a very healthy lineup. And I hope, Gamescom, I mean, they're going all out for it. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I was debating on flying out there, but I just don't have the time with work and everything. But I can't wait to see what everyone's going to be doing at Gamescom.